This stuff here, Yerushalmi Eruvin, article Osber edition with Dr. Zayin of Aleph, right at the top on Rabbi Ba, and the building one Tes Vavim and Aleph, even to the bottom. Rabbi Ba. Los Shtei Chatzeros. Yesterday, talked about two Chatzeros which front into Pasi Biros, and we said that it is you can't make a shituvavos, and you can't carry the two Chatzeros answering each other, and the Asa Pasi Biros you can't carry even by shituf from the Chatzeros to the Pasi Biros and vice versa, because Chazal were misaking shituf mavos by Pasi Biros. So now we're talking about not just two Chatzeros, I feel Chatzer Achas, Ubashtei Batim, which are two houses. Now I don't like the article's picture, but I'll show it to you anyway. Because the article's picture is where the two house the Pasi Biros in the middle of a Chatzer, a large Chatzer, and there are Pasi Biros which front directly on two openings on two houses. I don't think that's shot in the Yerushalmi. Shot in the Yerushalmi is we're talking about Pasi Biros in the middle of Chatzer. There's a Chatzer which they made Erev Chatzeros, and they made the Pasi Biros in the middle there. So they have an Erev Chatzeros going right outside their door. It's not fronting directly into Pasi Biros. But rather, there's a Pasi Biros in their Chatzer. They made Erev Chatzeros. It doesn't work to go to the Pasi Biros. That's what it's saying here. So because the more initially learns, Savin may Marbishlo Yervu. That's why he didn't make an Erev. That they made an Erev, it's okay, because it includes the Pasi Biros. Daniel Brader of Ktinim Shir Abhuna said, I feel Irvu Asrus. No. It says even they marry with the Osir. Shein Erev Osin Osa Achas. The Erev does not make them one for the Pasi Biros. The Pasi Biros is still separate. And because it's like a Movli. And there's no shituf in it. So therefore, the fact that they made, even there was one Chatzer, and they made an Erev Chatzeros among themselves, the Pasi Biros is still off limit. Rav Huna Kedaitin. Rav Huna is Kedaitin. So Rav Huna is like his opinion, which he stated elsewhere. Tispalgun, which they had in Machlekes. Mavi, on one side you have a non-Jew, on the other side you have a Jew, and there's a picture in our school here. They actually have Jews over here, and the Mavi in the middle, and an Akum on the other side. See that? Jews, Mavi, Akum on the other side. So Rav Chuna B'Shem Rab said, Omar, Im Erev Derech Psachim Akum Oisraelim. If they made an Erev through the Psachim, the Goy answers in them. Now what's Derech Psachim? So in the picture means that each house has an opening in front of it, opens to the Chatzer, and then there's the Akum on the other side. So the halacha is, if you have more than one Yisrael living in together with a Goy in a Chatzer, or a Movi, same principle, so then you need to have either you have the Yisrael from the non-Jew. You have to rent the area from him, the rent in order to carry out Shabbos. If there's one Jew living with one Goy, so then you don't do Schiras Rishus. Chazal said that it's Milslo Shchicha. It's unlikely that one Jew will live with one Goy, and therefore Lo Gaz Rabbanan not requires Schiras Rishus in that case. The reason given elsewhere in Eruvin is because we don't want the Jews living with Goyim. We want to have the Chatzer to be a Jewish Chatzer. So therefore we require Schiras Rishus, which is something which the Goy might refuse to do, and therefore the Jews will have to move away. But they said that one Jew living with one Goy is not Shchiach, because one Jew living with one Goy, in that case, back then, they're afraid of Shvichas Damim, that maybe the non-Jew will, who's of course mostly back then were mostly pagans and idolaters, would attack the Jew. And therefore, they wouldn't live together one-on-one without having Jews in close proximity. So therefore, that was Mislo Shchicha. It was unlikely that would happen. Therefore, Rabbanan not require Schiras Rishus in that case, because they went according to Ikar Halacha that Rishus of an Akum was not considered to be Rishus. But that's only if there's one Jew and one Goy. If there are multiple Jews, like this scenario over here, so then he answers on them, and then they need to do a Schiras Rishus for him. Abba Bar Chana b'shem Rabbi Yochanan said, "Afilu irvu derech haloinus." Even they made an Erev through Chalonos, Ein Akum Mosar Leim. Now, what's Derech Chalonos? Derech Chalonos means, in this case over here, that's what article has a cutaway. The Chutz is on the other side over here, and the Jews are not made Erev through openings, rather through Chalonos, to windows between their houses. Okay, so therefore, he has this. These houses are outside the Chutzer. This house, one house is in the Chutzer, and they make an Erev through their Chalonos between their houses. And so there's only one Jew in the Chutzer. There are multiple Jews living in this railroad arrangement, like I forget what it's called when they had in tenements back in the old days, railroad flat. So in the railroad flat arrangement, well, openings elsewhere, but they're only opening through the into the Chutzer through this house over here, through their Chalonos. So it's one-on-one in the Mavli over here, one. So that in this case, he says, in this case, the Akum does not answer on them. Now, the question is why I use the word afilu here, right? Just say in this case, what's the word afilu? So afilu means even though the Jew is not going to be afraid to live here with the non-Jew, because he has the windows going into the other houses. So afilu, even there are chalonis, and there is now, he's not going to be afraid because he's going to rely on the other Jews, coming to his aid, but some of them are protecting him. But the point is that their presence will deter the non-Jew. So nevertheless, it's okay. Okay, so it's fine. So the point is, just like over there, Chuna says that the Erev Chatzeros does not make all the Jews one entity, and therefore they shouldn't require Schiros Rishus for the purpose of the Goy. So to over here, the Erev Chatzeros between the two Jews and the Chutzer does not make them one entity, that they're considered to be one entity vis-a-vis the Pasibiros. Okay, so the Erev Chatzeros, the Lomdus of Erev Chatzeros, means we're united, but we're not fused. I know that's the right term. We're not maybe fused, we're even fused, but we're not conglomerated. Anyway, you get the idea. In other words, you don't become one unit with two units. You know what? I'm using the derogatory. It's not a kova mizkis. It's a kova sheichnis. We're not fused together to become one new combined entity, where it's combined as two entities coexisting and you link together. So he says, like where Erev Chatzeros have fused us together. So then we would say, okay, then therefore the Akum and the Jews are one to one, and no Schiros should be required. Over here we'd say that the Akum, the two Chatzeros fronting on the Pasibiros are one entity, and therefore they should be able to carry back and forth to the Pasibiros, because there's no other it's one Chatzer on one Pasibiros, and therefore no additional tikkun will be necessary. It involves only when there's additional Chatzeros. There's only one Chatzer here, only one, and there's the fact that Erev Chatzeros means it's like one Chatzer. So it's only one resident here, which doesn't require Shuva votes. The fact that because the two houses are united by the Chatzeros, so that would be for Kova Mizkis, and it's an absolute merger, but it's not, and therefore that's why he asks in both cases. Says Gemara, not necessarily. I feel that these brought Rab Chuna ki Rabbi Yochanan, even Rab Chuna can hold Rabbi Yochanan in that case over there. Tama mutter, and over there it's mutter, it's permissible. Mother who acha shuasa, here it's also. Why? There's Karmei changed next word from Tama to acha. Hacha shema lemachra techorev haber, because maybe tomorrow, at some future point, the bear will be destroyed. It'll be a bear. Avut savalom Hashem er mo pasi biros, and he might come to conclude that okay, our eruv by works by possibly rose, right? So the why are we carrying this possibly rose? No bear anymore. Must be that Erev Chatzeros works by possibly rose. It doesn't. Erev possibly rose. Erev does not work by possibly rose. Possibly rose is a special halacha. The Erev doesn't work by it. So therefore, because we're afraid that people are going to come to that in some future scenario where the bear will be gone and they're going to rely on Erev Chatzeros, which does not work unless it's a totally enclosed Chatzer, so therefore they answered it. And continue those lines. Again, even though we said Midoraisa, Pasibiros can't make sure Shusayachid, but since Rabbanan said Pasibiros only works if there's a bear, I'm Rabbi Sabin Loitir about the Pasibiros, Elo Lamaus Ben Mayim Bilvad. The only permitted Pasibiros to fill up water. That's the whole purpose of it. But Mayim b'Shabbos, so if water came on Shabbos, all of a sudden a spring opened up in your Pasibiros, for Nichas Shabbos Be'Isr. Shabbos already began Isser, and therefore you can't use it on that Shabbos. Chorva bear, but if the bear got stopped up over Shabbos, then Kvanirta says Shabbos better. Then Shabbos already came in better, and then you can continue counting because everything goes according to the beginning of Shabbos. Okay, next case. Rabbi Yonah b'Shem Amar Rabbi Nasser Shalom Ma'al Tatu Ben HaPasim. Okay, carry between the pasim. Picture in your article, but it's going to come out more clear if you look at the picture in the Reb Chaim here. Where to go? Over here. Ben HaPasim, the pasim are thick. They have a thickness to them. So we have to carry this area between the pasim. Okay, obviously the pasim on the other side, which are not part of the picture. But the pasim biros, we have to carry the thickness of the pasim. Malta ben pasim. Neymar. Let's say if the thickness of those pasim is 4 tvachim, kiskopa, and then it's like a threshold asura. It's like a iskupa, so it's like an iskupa, so it's like an iskupa threshold which is independent, and therefore it's also being lav, and if not, it's a rishus unto itself. It'd be a karmelis. Being lav, and if not, if it's less than 4 tvachim, kiskupa muteris. It's a makam tur. It's less than 4 tvachim. It's like iskupa muteris. Mutzakam, which we allowed to be used both by Rishus Hayachim and Rishus Rabim, uvevad sheyeh lo yachliv, as long as again our halacha is by a Malkum Tur, you can't use it to go from one Rishus to another Rishus. Tana, going back to our Mishnah, Tani, Yesh Keser Amas Ibra Meir, right? Meir's scenario with his with the cows going in and going out. So those that comes out to 10 amos. They're Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Meir, he says Kishlosh Esrei, Karabah Esrei. He says it's like 13 and like 14. So that's a picture in Perish Chai back for Rabbi Yehuda. For Rabbi Meir, it's 2 less cows. The 4 and the 4. It's 13 and a third. So the Gemara says it says pada, but it should be para. I don't know. The article is by the way changed. Page here. No, it says pada. Okay, but say para. Para amo mechza v'ama benaim. So the Korban says para amo mechza v'ama benaim. Well, kibush. It wasn't me saying. Come right, Meir. Yesh kiyu eser amos. That what Jeremy say. It's like 10 amos. So the obvious para amo umechza. Each part is an am and a half. Hooray. Tes amos the bab blocker. So it's 9 amos or six cattle. V'ama ben rivka l'rivka, and there's an amma between each set. Hooray eser. That's 10. The Shmona Bakar, 8 cattle. Hey, Yud Beis Amos, there's the 12 Amos. V'ama Beinayim, Yud Gimel. That's 13. The Ein Achas Nileres v'Achas Yoitzeitz. So but because according to the Raimer, they're both going the same direction. Over here, they're going in 2 different directions. Yotzim Miklau Yud Gimel, Chal Yudalobo. There's more than 13, but not 14. Inami the Makam Rabbi Yehuda Porach Choreshes Machzekes Amo Shnei Shlishim. Kisabab Avli. Or else that's in the place of Yehuda, and they measured with a plowing cow, which takes an amma and 2/3. Like it says in the Bavli, amma and 2/3 times 8. I'm guessing is 13 and a third. Okay, halacha base. Mutzaki leber. The unit can be closer to the bear. You don't need 10 ammas between the pasit. Uvashne para rosha v'ruba bifnim. As long as the cow can fit head and majority of its torso inside, which is approximately 2 amos, with shaisa and drink. Mutachit kosher v'achir pasim. You can make it even larger than they mentioned the first mishnah, but then you have to add pasim in between the diyum thing. Rabbi Yonah says, "My Rabbi Yonah Shema Shua Barav Bar Yitzchak V'hu This is the shear. In other words, no matter the scenario, the shear is like, as we said, it's about 2 amos, that's a shear. Kashir has that. This is like this shear. I feel gomo kulam mutter. Even if you're dealing with a camel, and most of the camels outside because it has a long neck, and so I guess it can be longer than 2 amos, and its torso is outside. It doesn't matter. It's the para rosha baruba fit inside, so therefore it works for even for the for a camel which has a long neck and most of it would be outside. And conversely, if it's less than a shear of 2 amos, I feel of even with the goat, shekul bifnim would be completely inside the pasiros. Also, it'd be no good. So we have Brisa. Tanya Rishim Mole Gomo Ugmalo has the entirety of the camel and the camel driver. So Gemara asks Umar Poli, does he arguing? Umar Poli? No, says Gemara, doesn't really argue. We're talking about the cow, we're talking about a cow which extends its neck. And the camel, we're talking about Okaim Savaro. So it bends its neck. And therefore the shear for a extended cow and the shear for a contracted camel are both the same. They're 2 amos. So Gemara asks, Ma boy, why do you need this 2 amos? Why do you need this Rosh Baruba inside? Then we allow a cow to stand in Rishus Hashanah, eat Rishus Hashanah. We don't require the majority of its torso be inside Rishus Hashanah. Why do you require the majority of its torso be in the Pasabiros? Rabbi Yosef said, come on, which means, as very often the Yerushalmi here, means there, it means here. So in the case of Pasabiros, Behud Mafsik lay. Now, mafsik normally means to interrupt, but here the Korban Eidah changed actually to mafshik lay. Which means extending the bucket. It even says mafsik. I think it's supposed to be probably like something like maspik. Must speak. He supplies the animal. In other words, there's a person there supplying the animal with the water. He's taking a bucket out of the pasabiros, putting in the trough for the animal to drink. So therefore, we're concerned that if you let the animal stand too far away, he's going to take the bucket out to Rosh Hashanah and give it to the animal. But in the case of the animal grazing, eating on its own. So therefore, we're not concerned. That's why you don't require minimum shear. So the more goes on to the next part of the Mishnah. Al-Dayan says, and we're saying what you mentioned already the first day we went in the parak, Al-Dayan to Rameir, Dyumdim Shutin. According to Rameir, you need to have Dyumdim and Shutin. No matter how much the shear is. Even if you always have to have Shutin. It's not enough to have Dyumdim. Al-Dayan to Rabbi Yehuda, Dyumdim, Avalob Shutin. You don't have to, it's sufficient to have Dyumdim. You don't have to necessarily have Shutin, unless, of course, you extend the area further than the original, like we said, more than the original area. So that's I think simple shot in the Yerushalmi, but the plain Moshe explains no, that they're arguing in a man who made it and the Bali argues and the Yerushalmi argues about this even like the Moshe when you made a larger area, original area. So according to Meir, you have the original Dyumdin, you have Shutin. According to Rabbi Yehuda, you add on to the Dyumdin. You make the Dyumdin themselves longer. You don't add on to Pshutim, you add on to the original Dyumdin. The Pnei Moshe Pshat seems to be sort of supported by the Rashba, and Daf Yutes and Beis says, B'Yerushalmi Gosim Behedi al Daito Amer Dyumdin Upshutin al Daito Rabbi Yehuda Dyumdin Avo Pshutim Lo. So that seems to be, in fact, the Rashba seems to be like Pnei Moshe. Okay, Halacha Gimel. We said up to a base Hosayim. Now it's like any other hekif which is not mukab l'dir. You only got the base Hosayim, not more. Amr, they said to him, no. Lomer base Hosayim, they only said that limitation, but el beginning of karpaf, by a gino or a karpaf, a garden or a backyard. Avima dir osar or muktzeh, but if it was a corral of the various different sorts, the deer is like a corral you make. It's like a corral you make for the pasture in one place here and one place there. Sarah says, well, I'm going to read a Korban Eidah. Deer shabem shosim b'soda sayom kam bayom kam. There's zavu b'glali behema in order to fertilize that area of the field with animal dung. They go from one place one day to another place the next day. Muktzeh Sorry, Osar Moka Muka Lebei Moshel Ir, place which is surrounded where they keep the animals of the city. Ubayis Besoch and Yerushalmi, and they have a house inside for the shepherd. Muktzah Rechav Shochrei Abatim, it's an expanse behind the houses. Uh, no, I said car before. It's backyard. It's a mistake. It's a yard. The muktzah is around the house. So chotzer. I feel base chamisha kurim. Even as 5 kurim, I feel base asar kurim mutter mutter. It's permissible. Mutter chi koshu v'acher pasin. So he says. Says Moshe. Oh chotzer shnei bat kol chani gave him the diro. All those mukos ladira, and therefore they can be more basis. Right? I pass yours nami home main we should see us adam since there's water for human drinking tashush diram ayasahi, and it is therefore you can be more than basis sign. So the one asks, bear mashu talamidas sosayim, is the bear part of the measure of the sosayim according to Rabbi Yehuda, and whatever thickness of the bear is, whatever the dimension of the bear, it diminishes the base of time, or is the base of time besides the bear itself? The Shemina Ledah, so it's not from here. Shemina Ledah, bear sheyesh lo midas sosayim. If you have a bear which has a measure of sosayim, Eino tzorich. Now the Bnei Moshe changes it to Eino mutter, but whatever it means. If you don't change it, it means that. It means like Eino yochel. You can't. Eino tzorich lo roshu shapara. You're going distance the roshu shapara. Evidently, they gave you that a little bit more than the shear of the bear itself, but that's it, right? So you see clearly that the be'er counts as part and parcel of the Saim, and therefore you're severely curtailed in those circumstances. Okay, that brings us to the top of the Zion Ralph, so we'll stop here for today.